Lesson 4.2, Writing Equations in Slope-Intercept Form. Our essential question is, how do you write an equation for a line when you know the slope and one point on the line? So we're going to use slope-intercept form just like we've been using. The difference is that we will be given the slope of the line. We will not be given the y-intercept though. We will be given a different point on the line. So in this section, we're going to teach you how you can come up with the slope-intercept equation when you're not given both the slope and the intercept. So for the first part, you're given the slope and one point on the line. So the first problem says, write an equation for the line that passes through the point 2, -3 with a slope of 1/2. And then graph the line. I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b for our slope-intercept form. We know that the slope is 1/2. We also know that the letter m represents that slope in our formula. Now, we don't know the intercept b, but we do know that the line passes through the point 2, -3. So I am going to use the x and y coordinates from that point in my slope-intercept form equation. And I am going to figure out what my intercept is. So here's what I'm talking about. My y coordinate is -3, so I can replace the y with -3. My slope is 1/2, so I replace m with 1/2. My my x coordinate from the point is 2, so I can replace x with 2. Now I know that when they're next to each other, the m and the x in the formula, right here, they're being multiplied together. So I have 1/2 times 2, and then plus b, because the intercept is the piece of information that we don't know. Now I can simplify this. -3 equals 1/2 times 2. 1/2 times 2 over 1 plus b. 1/2 times 2 over 1. If I multiply those fractions together, I get 2 over 2. Because you multiply across in fractions, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now to get the b by itself, I subtract 1 on each side, and b equals -4. So my intercept is -4. On the next example, I will skip these steps right here and just multiply 1/2 of 2. 1/2 times 2 is 1. So it won't look like so many steps for you. So my intercept is -4. Now I can write my equation. I was given the slope, 1/2, and I've solved for the intercept, -4. Now I can graph my line. So my intercept is -4. My slope is 1/2. Rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. And I can draw my line. Just like that. Now the graphing piece, I want to explain a little bit more. The graphing piece, I could have graphed the problem first. I could have done that. And I'll show you that on the next one. But 2, -3, 2, -3 is right here. So the point that I was given, it might not have been my intercept, but it was a point on the line. So I could have gone from that point, rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2, and could have graphed my line right at the beginning. And it would have been exactly the same. Okay, so this one, I'm going to show you that I could graph first if I wanted to. So -3, 4. -3, 4 is right here. My slope is -1. So I am going to make it look like a fraction. Rise over run. So I'm going to go down 1, over 1 to the right. Here's my line. From graphing, I can tell that my intercept is +1. So I'm going to write my equation. My slope is -1. My intercept is positive 1. And I've got my equation and my graph. Now, why would we not want to go with this method all the time? Why would we not want to go with this method all the time? Well, sometimes your numbers aren't really easy to graph. Sometimes they're really large or really small, or sometimes you're working with fractions. So it's always nice to have more than one method to figure out your answer in math. So I'm going to show you the other way. If we had started with our slope-intercept form, instead, like I did on the last one, I would be using my x and y coordinate from the point, and my slope was m. So I would have 4 equals the slope, -1, times the x coordinate, -3, plus b. -1 times -3 is +3. Subtract away that 3. 1 equals b. So see, it's not that much work to find the intercept with the equation, as long as you don't have to show so many steps in the middle there. So I would get my intercept b, then I would plug in my slope and my intercept and graph my line. So this is how everything ties together, how it ties together. So you, in order to draw your graph, you don't have to know the intercept. You can know any point on the line and what the slope is, and you can draw your line. Okay, next one. I've got a fraction on this one, and this one looks the same as the rest, so we need an equation and a graph. So I am going to do my slope-intercept form first. So x coordinate, y coordinate, slope is m. So 1 equals 2/3 times -3 plus b. 1 equals. If I put a 1 under this, I can cross cancel these. So 1 equals -2 plus b. Add 2 to get rid of the -2. 3 equals b. So my equation is y equals my slope, which was 2/3 x plus 3. Start out at +3. Rise 2, run 3. Rise 2, run 3. Draw my line. Next one. Start out with my slope-intercept form. X coordinate, y coordinate, slope is m. 4 equals slope -3 times the x coordinate 1 plus b. -3 times 1 is -3. Add 3 to cancel it out. 7 is my intercept. So y equals my slope, -3, x plus my intercept, 7. Start at 7. And remember, when your slope is -3, it means your rise is -3 and your run is 1. So down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. And there's my line. You're ready to write your summary now? And here are your homework problems.